It all started with pie.
Is the ease of sale worth leaving this kind of money on the table?
I think the neighborhood flippers want you to.
Don't tell them we made this video. When Patrick and Charles came to us to sell their house, they had lived here at 12074 Laurel Terrace for 30 years.
They wanted to know how could they maximize their biggest asset, their home, in value.
We gave them a few options.
And let's show you what they were.
The first option that we visited with them was the off-market approach. And everyone feels, except maybe us, that flippers and investors like that, they don't always, it's the easiest maybe way to sell the house, but they don't always pay you the highest amount of money or the most amount of money for your home.
No, they do have to make a profit.
Out of that approach came 4 offers, all about, in that 900 to 950 range, offering various terms, but short closes, the easy button approach.
Usually no contingencies for financing, but they're still going to do some investigation work. So here are the costs and the timeframes associated with that kind of sale.
If you do go that route, we have found that your final sales price may be a little bit different from what your offer price is. They kind of want to lock up the property, get in there, maybe they find a few things and hedge it down a little bit from there. Now we're going to talk about option 2. Option 2 is where the seller becomes the flipper and does a major remodel. Many times sellers are in the best position to invest money into their home, especially when you have lived there for a long time.
Improvements needed for this particular option was a new roof, new cabinetry and surfaces in the kitchen and baths, new kitchen flooring and refinished hardwood floors. We would need to do new landscaping, reworking of some of the plumbing systems, electrical systems. The property needed termite and chimney repairs. Here are some of the costs and timeframes associated with this kind of sale. Major work would require the seller to move out, right? Mm-hmm. And taste factors matter. So you need to do a remodel that was with resale in mind and of today's buying kind of flavors. Mm-hmm. This is a great option for people who have time and money, but it wasn't the best option for these particular sellers.
All right, now on to option 3, which was what our clients chose to go with, which we call the clean and green option. In this instance in particular, the seller created a budget, gave us a budget.
We recommend the changes that will put the house in its best light. Cost matters, and we use vendors that we know do great work and at fair prices.
This allows the new owner to have a livable situation while still giving them room to make updates and changes that fit their lifestyle, their taste.
And this is to attract home buyers.
We feel home buyers are always going to pay the most amount of money for your home.
So let's take a look at what those costs and those prices are.
Our budget for this project was $25,000. So when we went to the drawing board, we felt we definitely wanted to start with paint, both inside and out.
The option 3 is called clean and green. Our priorities were to make the house look fresh inside and out.
Part of our interior painting was also to paint the cabinetry throughout the house. It wasn't in the budget to replace cabinets, and they were in pretty good shape. So we decided a fresh coat of paint with new hardware was a great way to go with that. And thank you to our designer who pushed us in the right direction in terms of color schemes and all those types of design styling.
The home had beautiful hardwood floors, and most of them had been covered up by carpet for years and years. So we pulled up all the carpet. We brought our hardwood floor person out to refinish them, put a new coat so it was more modern than what was currently there. We knew the interior needed to be light and bright, so we took the incandescent recessed lighting fixtures, retrofit, taking them to LED light bulbs, which puts out an entirely different light. And by changing all those fixtures to LEDs, gave the whole house a different feel.
We decided to swap out 2 pendant lights to free up the line of sight into the kitchen, and we decided to go with a surface mounted LED, which is a little bit more modern and lights the breakfast bar in a certain way. And along with that, we chose to swap out an old stained glass chandelier, which was beautiful, but a little dated, with a more modern chandelier that fit our new design. We did not have it in the budget to change countertops, and by changing the color of the cabinets, like we mentioned, and cabinet hardware, it really tied everything together. The appliances were old, not all working, so we felt it was a great use of money and budget to buy new appliances, have them swapped out, and that was one of the next things we did.
So we got a new stove, a new microwave, a new dishwasher, and a new garbage disposal.
Yes.
So let's talk about the green part.
Yeah, this was an amazing lot in an amazing location, but it needed a little bit of love in terms of cleaning up the grounds. So what did we do there?
Well, we exposed the house, which had been kind of overgrown because the sellers wanted their privacy. They didn't want to feel exposed, but in order to put the house in that show quality light, we thought removing landscaping and opening it up was the right thing to do. And I think it turned out really well.
Remember, it's all about first impressions. People drive by, see the sign, see it on Zillow, drive by before the open houses. We want them so enticed by how the house looks from the street that they're going to circle back to our open houses and then eventually hopefully make an offer.
Yeah. We finished off the planter beds with some fresh bark, which gave it a manicured look. In the backyard, we did the same thing. We opened up the house, which had kind of been overgrown from the back. We let all the light shine in through the windows that we possibly could, trimmed trees, and just gave the patio area a nice entertainer's feel.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts is pressure washing a house, especially something like this that has this beautiful red brick. Once you pressure wash that red brick, it looks brand new again and really pops. It's just such an easy thing you can do that really has a great return. We did do a full deep clean on the property, windows, floors. It's got to be looking fresh.
Yeah, inside cabinets, outside. Remember, people have been living there for 30 years. We didn't want it to feel that way.
So the last thing we did was we brought back our stager who had given us those original design points, and we had her stage the entire property. We felt like it was such an important piece to this because the space was a little bit smaller than most. We really wanted to show its true potential.
They have a really great knack of taking space that may seem useless and turning it very useful. Reading areas, office areas, how to use counter space, just the rearranging furniture that makes the most sense that most of us can't imagine.
And how long did this whole thing take us?
About 21 days.
21 days, 3 weeks. We were ready to go on the market. Hadn't been touched in 30 years, and we're ready to go with it.
So when it comes to putting the house on the market, we also have a plan for that. We like to have public open houses first, then have broker open houses to follow, and then lastly have another round of public open houses. Then we feel that the property has been showcased to enough people to start to see if we're going to get offers. We did end up with multiple offers. They ranged from $1.1 million to $1.4 million, and then finally settled after it all was said and done to a sales price that was $1.18 million, with a really nice family that we think benefited the Silver Triangle very much. So now that you've seen the cost, what was the return on their investment?
So we ended up selling the house for $1.18 million with a $26,000 capital investment to improve the property to get it ready for the market. The final return on our $26,000 investment was 784%.
How much is that in dollars?
$203,000.
Okay, so let me get this right. They gave us $26,000 to work with, and they got over $220,000 in return.
That's right.
I want that job. Can we promise these kind of returns to every seller? No, sometimes we get more. But you can understand it's a kind of a case by case. The reality is, unless you call us and we present you with some options, you don't really know what those options may be. So a lot of people think that easy is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe pretty easy is worth more money. What's the right way to approach the market is worth a conversation or two. It's not always the easiest way.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes putting in 3 weeks and $26,000 will get you a lot more money.
Yep. And it really has to be the right way for you. That's the most important piece. Sitting down and creating a plan and learning about these options is truly in your best interest, because again, a lot of you may have years and years of equity like these people had, and you get one chance at this. And we wanted to make sure that they absolutely maximize their return and their outcome.
That's our job. Get you the most amount of money out of this market.
Is the ease of sale worth leaving this kind of money on the table?
I think the neighborhood flippers want you to.
Don't tell them we made this video. We hope that if you have questions, want to talk any of this stuff through, no pressure, nothing like that, we're here to help and happy to talk to you. Reach out anytime. This is one of the things that I think we love most about this whole process is planning and figuring out, again, what works best for you.
It all started with pie. Anybody want a slice?